Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address a massive rally in Srinagar today, marking the start of the BJP election campaign in Jammu and Kashmir. Ahead of upcoming assembly polls, an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 party workers are expected to attend, showcasing the party's influence in the region as they gear up for the election season.
सर बहुत दूर है तुम
Tragedy struck EY India after a 26-year-old employee from its Pune office, Anna Sebastian Perail, died due to work-related stress. The incident has regained conversations around corporate work culture and mental health, with many demanding better protections for employees.
Daily basis. Unfortunately for Anna Sebastian, this turned out to be fatal. The 26-year-old employee of the multinational consulting firm Ernst & Young in Pune died due to overwhelming workload, according to her mother. Anna had joined EY as a chartered accountant just 4 months before she succumbed to work pressure. These claims have been made by her mother, Anita Augustine, who said in a letter addressed to EY India chairman Rajiv Memani. In her letter, Anna's mother claimed that Ernst & Young was her daughter's first job and she was thrilled about joining the company. But within just 4 months, however, she succumbed to excessive workload. Anna worked late into the night and on weekends, returned to her paying guest accommodation completely exhausted on most days and was burdened with back-breaking work as a newcomer, as the letter claimed, that is. Heartbreakingly, no one from Ernst & Young even attended Anna's funeral. Anna joined EY Pune on March 19, 2024. She died on July 20th, just 4 months later. EY has now responded to Mirana on the death. EY has said that they are deeply saddened by the demise and employee well-being is their top priority.
The Karnataka High Court will hear the petition filed by former Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa seeking to quash a POSCO case against him. The court has also extended an interim order preventing his arrest in connection to the case.
Bench of Justice M. Naga Prasanna had earlier issued an interim order preventing Yedurappa's arrest, which the government now seeks to vacate. If the court lifts the stay, Yedurappa could face immediate arrest, is what we're learning. I'm going to go straight across to Sagairaj for more details. What time is the verdict? Give us a sense of what really is expected, because Yedurappa had also moved court to quash the FIR against him, isn't it?
The Honor 200 Lite 5G smartphone is launching today in India. The phone is equipped with a 108 megapixel rear camera, 50 megapixel front camera and MediaTek Dimensity 6080 processor, catering to users looking for affordable high-performance devices. Cricket fans are excited as the first test match between India and Bangladesh kicks off today in Chennai, marking the start of Bangladesh tour of India. The match will be held at the M.H. Chidambaram Stadium and will run through September 23.
दोनों देशों ने दुनिया को कई महान टेस्ट क्रिकेटर दिए, लेकिन बीते कुछ समय में हालात तेजी से बदले हैं। भारतीय क्रिकेट बेहतरी के और पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट बदहाली के रास्ते पर है। 19 सितंबर से भारतीय टीम चेन्नई में बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ टेस्ट मैच खेलेगी। इस टेस्ट मैच के लिए भारतीय टीम का कैंप इन दिनों चेन्नई में चल रहा है। बांग्लादेश की टीम भी पिछले दिनों चेन्नई पहुंच चुकी है। वैसे तो टेस्ट क्रिकेट में बांग्लादेश की टीम के खिलाफ मैच को शायद ही इतना महत्व दिया जाता, लेकिन हाल ही में बांग्लादेश ने बड़ा उलटफेर किया है। बांग्लादेश की टीम और दूसरे में 6 विकेट से जीत। जाहिर है भारत के खिलाफ उसके हौसले बुलंद हैं। इधर भारतीय टीम भी पूरी तरह तैयार है। इसी महीने 8 सितंबर को जब भारतीय टीम का ऐलान किया गया तो थोड़ी हैरानी भी हुई। ऐसा लगा जैसे बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ नहीं बल्कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया के खिलाफ टीम का ऐलान किया गया है। ऐसा इसलिए क्योंकि बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ चयनकर्ताओं ने फुल स्ट्रेंथ वाली टीम चुनी है। इस टीम में जसप्रीत बुमराह भी शामिल है। साल के अंत में ऑस्ट्रेलिया को लेकर यह संजीदगी इसलिए ही दिखाई जा रही है क्योंकि भारतीय टीम टेस्ट क्रिकेट में एक बड़ा इतिहास रचने की तैयारी में है। बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ पहले टेस्ट में जीत मिली तो भारतीय टीम इतिहास रचेगी। क्या है वो इतिहास, बताता हूं आपको। भारतीय क्रिकेट 92 साल के इतिहास में एक नए मुकाम पर पहुंचने वाला है। अगर भारतीय टीम चेन्नई में पहले टेस्ट मैच में जीत दर्ज करती है तो भारत के टेस्ट
Typhoon Yagi has unleashed devastation across Southeast Asia, affecting over 6 million children in countries like Vietnam, Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. The UN's humanitarian agencies, including UNICEF, are working tirelessly to restore essential services such as clean water and healthcare, which have been severely compromised.
In a long week for Southeast Asians, Typhoon Yagi tore through the region with gale force winds and torrential rains, and people in Vietnam have begun picking up the pieces in areas where floods have receded, as well as counting the dead. In the remote village of Lang Nu, rescuers are having to dig through thick mud to find those who are missing after a landslide buried an entire community. They've recovered dozens of bodies.
It was a family with a husband, wife, and a child. We've lost them. It's a disaster. It's the fate that we've had to accept.
But while the worst appears to be over for Vietnam, neighboring countries are just beginning to feel the impact of Yagi. In the northern province of Chiang Rai in Thailand, special forces from the Navy have been deployed to help people evacuate their homes in flooded streets.
The strong current is a challenge, and there are people who are still trapped. I've just been to one alley and found more than 20 wanting to evacuate.
The scene isn't much different in Myanmar, where floods threaten to worsen a humanitarian crisis brought on by armed rebellion against the military government. Thousands have been forced to flee their homes, and the death toll is rising.
It's worse this time. It's nothing like before. The water came halfway up our house.
Yagi was a tropical storm when it brushed the Philippines in early September before intensifying into a typhoon as it made its way to the rest of Southeast Asia, where it dumped tremendous amounts of rain.
In US political news, AI Mason, a close aide to Donald Trump, praised the former president's role in deepening India-US relations, crediting his strong bond with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his tenure. As the US election season heats up, Trump's legacy on foreign policy continues to be a focal point.
Driver! Walk straight back! Keep walking!
Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt last week. And yesterday, he took to the stage again. the Republican presidential nominee addressed a town hall in Michigan, and he labeled India a very big abuser. But in the same breath, he called Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi a fantastic man.
So when India, which is a very big abuser, he happens to be coming to meet me next week, and Modi, he's fantastic. I mean, fantastic man. India is very tough.
PM Modi will visit the United States on September 21st. This will be his first visit to the country since he won a historic third term in office. PM Modi will attend the Quad Leaders Summit, which will be hosted by US President Joe Biden. The Quad group is formally called the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue. It began as a partnership after the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. It includes India, the US, Australia and Japan. Apart from Quad, PM Modi will attend the UN General Assembly in New York and meet with the Indian diaspora. And now, the US presidential candidate has added another item to his list. Trump says PM Modi will meet him. The details are not clear yet, but by the looks of it, a trade discussion is on the cards. Because when Trump called India an abuser, he was referring to the US-India trade relationship. The US is one of India's key trade partners. For years now, Trump has criticized India for imposing heavy tariffs on imports. A tariff is a tax. It is imposed by one country on the goods and services imported from another country. It protects an economy from import competition. And Trump doesn't like it one bit. In fact, Trump says he will bring in reciprocal trade if he comes into power, meaning he will charge the same amount of tariff as other countries, and he has brought it up on several occasions. In August last year, Trump talked about India's high tax rates on American goods. He threatened to introduce reciprocal taxes. Trump has brought it up when he was in power as well. In 2018, when he was serving as president, Trump called PM Modi a beautiful, fantastic man. But even then, he had raised the issue of high import duty. He shared the example of Harley-Davidson motorbikes that are produced in the United States and the high import duties on it imposed by India. In 2019, Trump brought up the same issue, and this was not an empty threat. 3 months later, the US terminated India's designation as a beneficiary developing country. Under this, certain products can enter the United States duty-free. But India was removed on grounds of not providing equitable and reasonable access to its markets. This deeply hurt trade ties between the two countries. Over time, trade relations between India and the United States have improved. Just last year, they signed a slew of technology and defense deals. This signaled a new era of bilateral relations. Cooperation between the two countries has deepened. But now India's back on Trump's radar, and he may very well come back to power. We are no fortune tellers, but this is not a...
The UN's latest climate report warns of unprecedented global warming trends, with 2024 shaping up to be the warmest year on record. The severe effects of climate change have already manifested in the form of wildfires ravaging Latin America and Portugal, and massive floods linked to Storm Boris and in Central Europe.
Threatened on Monday by a series of out-of-control wildfires. The temperatures have topped 30 degrees Celsius over the weekend and are expected to stay high till today. Authorities say they have deployed 8 water-bombing aircraft in the district. The government requested 8 more aircraft from the European Commission. The Interior Ministry spokesperson said that 4 more water-bombing aircraft are expected to arrive from France and Spain. As per National Emergency and Civil Protection Commander, gusty wind and unusually dry weather can make the situation worse. He further goes on to say that the situation is not out of control, but difficult times lie ahead. Portugal and the neighboring country Spain have recorded fewer fires this year. As per scientists, both the countries are vulnerable to fire amid dry conditions.
Tragedy strikes in Lebanon as a residential solar energy system exploded, killing at least 20 people. The explosion have added to the ongoing instability in the region following recent Hezbollah-linked events. Harvey Weinstein is back in court, pleading not guilty to a new sexual assault charge in New York. The charge follows the recent overturning of his earlier conviction, keeping Weinstein in the legal spotlight as he faces multiple allegations of misconduct.
Say the charges relate to several previously unheard allegations of sexual assault and or rape that allegedly took place in New York City. The indictment was announced last week, but the 72-year-old missed his last court date after being rushed to the hospital for emergency heart.
Manhattan, specifically Tribeca hotels, and also at a residential building. Harvey Weinstein is expected to be here in court today in person at 2:30 Eastern time. He was not here last week, therefore he could not be arraigned. He was a sex assault. They said that the trial judge unfairly allowed other women to testify who were not a part of the case. The trial judge allowed them as Molyneux witnesses to show prior bad acts. Now, prosecutors say they want to file a motion to consolidate the new indictment with the retrial. His attorneys say they would prefer to keep them separate. They're aware of what is going to be retried in November, but they say they simply do not have all of the details when it comes to this new indictment. They say they ethically could not be prepared in time for this November 12th retrial should the charges be combined. They say they still have to do their own investigations and do their own work.